All right, folks, again, my name is Chris Rieger, and I run customer success here at Heyo. I'm based in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of southwestern Virginia on the east coast of the United States, and I am so excited to be able to spend this time with you guys today. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I do a lot of webinars. I do many with partners. I speak at conferences. I do a number of different things in my role running growth and strategy and customer success here at Heyo. Yes, I wear a lot of hats, by the way. We're a small company. I'm sure many of you can relate. But one of the things I enjoy most is doing these customer-only webinars where I get the chance to chat with some of you, our customers, and understand what challenges you're having, what successes you're having, and just seek to serve you guys better. So I'm really excited to be able to join you guys today. Thanks to everybody who has checked in with me on the GoToWebinar questions. We've got Tim here from the UK, Alan, who I was just talking to, who runs a podcast called 40 Plus Fitness, based in Arkansas. We've got Megan joining us from Christiansburg, right down the road from me. We've got John from Illinois. John, where in Illinois? I've got family in the Chicago area. And we've got Linda here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and a bunch of other folks. If you guys want to say hi to me in the GoToWebinar questions and just let me know where you're joining from, I would really, really love that. So again, today's webinar is called Best Practices and Tactics for Running a Successful Social Contest. And my goal today is to share with you some of the best strategies and tactics that we found here at Heyo, having seen thousands of different campaigns run that are kind of, more or less universal. These are the things that everyone should be doing. We just talked to Alan, and he mentioned prize selection as something that has been a little bit challenging for him. That's definitely one of the things we're going to talk about today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Everybody on this webinar is a Heyo customer. You're either, you've got a Heyo account yourself, a Heyo plan, or you're on a free trial. In either case, you're in the right place. I think you're going to learn a lot. There's a plethora of different campaigns that you can run with Heyo. You can run a social contest. You can create lead capture pages. You can publish visual content to Facebook. And again, what that means is taking visual content from platforms like Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube, and you can publish that to Facebook or to a standalone web page. You can drive traffic to a website, or you can build your own landing page from scratch. So there's quite a lot you can do with Heyo. Today, we're going to focus on running a social contest. This is the number one use case that we see across all of our customers. They're looking to build their email list, to drive more social media engagement, and that's what they're trying to do. So actually, before I go on, let's go ahead to the next slide. So I always like to ask this question: why run a social contest? When we're talking about social contests, we're going to dig into this more, obviously, but we're talking about a basic sweepstakes or giveaway that you can run to drive engagement, get entries. It's a nice event for your business, but why run it, right? We want to do things that generate real business value. We're all strapped for time. Folks like Alan, who I just talked to in Arkansas, have a lot going on in their lives. Why run a social contest in particular? Well, the short answer is because they convert. You can see a few case studies here on my screen. And basically, these types of social media contests tend to really build build your email list and generate a lot of new email leads. I would say that's the number one reason to run one. The number two reason would be social media engagement, more likes, comments, shares across social media platforms. They're very effective at doing that as well. So let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to flash a poll here up on the screen. Have you ever run a social contest before for your business? So boom, I just launched a quick poll. If you guys wouldn't mind taking a moment to answer that, that would be great. Have you ever run a social contest for your business? Okay, only 50% of you have voted so far. We got to get that higher. Folks, if you're in email, if you're multitasking and kind of passively listening to me, I would recommend closing your other tabs, shutting the door to your office or your home office, telling your colleagues or your kids or your boss, maybe not tell your boss, but tell everybody else, like, hey, look, this is my time. I'm going to be, behind closed doors for a while. Okay, we're at 73%, folks. We can get a little higher, I think. Can you please answer the poll on my screen? I'd love to get to 80% before we move on. We just did. Okay, awesome. Thank you to everyone. So let me close that poll and share the results with you. So Here's what everybody said. Over half of you, 58% of you have run a social contest before, and then another 42% of you have not, but plan to soon, which is awesome. That's exactly like this is the perfect webinar for all of you. None of you would say never. I don't do social campaigns, which is good because I'm not sure what you're doing here if you don't ever want to run a social contest or campaign. Okay, cool. So let's move right on. Tell me yes or no in the GoToWebinar questions. Would you like to see a quick case study of a successful social contest to get things started? I think it's helpful to see what other folks have done in the past. If you'd like to see a quick case study in the GoToWebinar questions, say yes. If not, say skip. Again, if you want to see one, type yes. If not, type skip. Only a few responses so far. Okay, here we go. Okay, Robert says yes. Harry says yes. Tim says sure, why not? Alan, yes. Okay, Charles says skip. Just to be fair, I'm going to call that out. Megan, yes. Monica, sure. Okay, everybody, Charles, everybody but you said skip, so I'm gonna share it, but I'll try to go quickly. This is Marie Scholl. She runs a company called Inspired Endurance. They make running-themed jewelry. So this is kind of interesting maybe to you, Alan. Running-themed jewelry. They're specifically targeted to women. You can kind of get a feel of that from their logo here, kind of on the left side of my slide. This is a campaign that she ran a little while ago that, she's a small business, but this was really successful for her business. She picked a great prize, these cute charms, and this little necklace here, right? And she had over 600 people view the campaign. Those are the number of impressions. Of those 620, she had 345 enter their email address for a chance to win for a 55.6% conversion rate. That's a great conversion rate. For your information, for those of you that are trying to measure success and wonder, was this campaign successful? I wish I had a benchmark. I would say that a successful social contest, in specifics, a successful sweepstakes like this one right here, this template right here, should convert at about 20% or higher. It might be 15, 16, 17%. But if it's any lower than that, then I really feel like something's wrong. The prize isn't working well. There's some reason that it's not resonating with folks. But generally, they converted around 15 to 20% or higher. And you can see at 55%, this was extremely successful for Marie, which is really awesome. The highest converting campaign I've ever seen here at Heyo was run by a musician, and it converted at over 80%, meaning for every 100 people that saw the page, over 80 left an entry, filled out the form, and entered their email address. So again, here's another view of that campaign. So what made Marie's campaign so successful? We're going to talk about that now. Let's dive into these best practices and tactics. So I'm going to walk through step by step for your next contest what I would do to make sure it's successful. So let's start with planning and preparation. So I would highly recommend, I think the tendency is we're going to run a campaign. We've signed up. We've got our Heyo account. We want to dive right in and build that contest page right away. My recommendation to you would be to take a step back. Don't build the contest page first. Jot down a few notes. And here's what I would take a few notes about. First of all, who is your target audience? Who are you really trying to reach with your campaign? Now, we talked to Alan in Arkansas, and I love what he said. He's got a target audience. He's not trying to reach everyone, right? We can't reach everyone. We probably shouldn't try to appeal to everyone. He's got a very specific audience of folks. He knows that they're over 40 years old. He knows that they care about fitness. Alan, I hope I'm getting this right. He knows that they care about fitness. They may have grandchildren. They want to take good care of themselves. They care about a healthy lifestyle. So he knows who his target audience is. That's the kind of stuff that we want to write down. First off, who are they? What are the demographics? What are the facts about these people? Your target audience that you know. Are they males? Are they, what age are they? Like Alan said, his target audience is 40 plus. Where do they live? If you're a local brick and mortar business, you better jot down some kind of geographic limitation, right? If you are a restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona, you probably don't care too much about getting leads outside of Scottsdale, or at least outside of the Phoenix area, right? So make sure you really you include geographic limitation as well. Again, what are the demographics? What are the facts about that population? The other thing I would make sure to include is what we call psychographics. These are a little bit harder to pin down, but just as important, if not more so. What do these people care about? So, what are the passions? What are the cares of your target audience? I'll give you an example. I shared this with Alan earlier. Now, I am a male, and I mentioned I'm approaching 40, so I'm in my late 30s. So there are a couple of facts about me, right? But here's some things that are more psychographic, right? You wouldn't necessarily know this if you just read a fact sheet about me. I love to run. I have a family, and I love my kids. I care about providing for my family. Like all these things that I care about, these things that are my loves, my passions, my hobbies. Those don't come out in demographics. You want to make sure you jot those down as well. I think this whole process of jotting down some notes about your target audience, it could just take 5 to 10 minutes. It shouldn't be a really intense process, right? So make sure you do that. Now, the next thing is you want to select the right prize. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So I know this can be a challenge for many businesses. What I would highly recommend is not to pick something too generic. When I say too generic, I have this thing I call the preteen test. My son is 11 years old, and I think that qualifies him as a preteen pretty much. And he's at that age where suddenly gadgets are really cool. He cares about money. Because he can actually get out and buy things, and so he likes to hoard money. He likes to earn and hoard money. So giving stuff away like a free iPad, if my son would want to win that prize, it's not a good prize. It's too generic. My 11-year-old son would love a free iPad. My 11-year-old son would love a $100 Amazon gift card. My 11-year-old son would love some other cool consumer electronic or gadget. So you get the idea, right? If you pick a prize that's too generic, it's going to have too much mass appeal. And so you're probably going to get a lot of entries. The problem is that many of those entries will not be a great lead for your business. And so you want to make sure that you're really targeted with the prize as well. Okay, so a couple of thoughts about that. You need to think about that target audience. You just took those notes down, right? You spent 5 to 10 minutes writing down the demographics and psychographics of your target audience. Think about who that person is. What do they care about? So I'll give you an example, right? If I'm a real estate agent and I've got a little bit of an audience online and I want to get some leads, and I really want leads for people who either are homeowners or looking to buy a home, I would count. So many businesses will give away their own product or service as a prize. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're in a services business like a real estate agent, I don't think this is the best idea, right? Giving away, a free home consultation or a free tax prep or a free session if you're some kind of coach or trainer. Nobody values your time as much as you do, so they may not see the value in that prize. So if I'm the real estate agent, instead of giving away some kind of service, I would instead do something like give away a gift card to Pottery Barn, right, which sells home furnishings. I might give away a high-tech Bluetooth lock for someone's front door, something that's home related that only a homeowner or somebody who's buying a home or furnishing a home would care about. So there's an idea for a prize. Think about what your fans would be excited about the most. Free products can be great. Coupon codes can be great. I really favor prizes that have some layer of exclusivity. If you're an author or a coach or a trainer, give away a free book, but maybe instead of just giving away a free book or your book, give away an autographed copy. If you're a restaurant, instead of giving away a $50 gift card to your restaurant, why not reserve the best table in the house on the busiest night of the week for the winner and their date? So you get the idea. Like a layer of exclusivity, I think works really, really well. Okay, I have lots I could say about prizes. We got plenty of other things to talk about too, though. We're going to have some Q&A, so I'll make sure I save some time there. The next step is to actually create your contest page in Heyo. Now, again, you guys have a decision to make. Would you like me to do a quick demo of how to build a contest page in Heyo? If yes, type yes in the GoToWebinar questions. If no, type skip. And I'm happy to skip if you guys, if it's just not going to be relevant to you. But if you'd like me to, type yes. Okay, Tim says yes in all caps. Okay, man, we've got, let's see. Okay, folks, if you haven't answered yet, please answer. We have a couple of skips, and I want to make sure that, we really have a consensus if we're going to do this. Okay, the yeses have it, although we do have a few skips. So like Hannah, Alan, Robert, I apologize. I'm going to try to, again, be really fast. So here I am. Luckily I've got it ready to go. So here's the page. So I'm in Heyo. I'm going to just show you really quick how to set up a sweepstakes campaign. And I am recording this webinar so that if you guys need to refer to it later, you can. So don't stress if I move too fast. All right, so quickly, I'm going to set this up. We're just going to call it sweepstakes. I'm going to click run a social contest. My template options open up here on the right-hand side. I'm going to click sweepstakes, save and start editing. For those of you who said skip, I am going to try and pepper in some tips here to make this very much worth your while, right? So first of all, let me just give a quick orientation. Here I am in the Heyo campaign builder, right? And I can mouse over the different elements of my campaign and they highlight. When they highlight, I can click, and then my edit options are over here on the right-hand side, okay? Over here on the right-hand side. So for instance, if I were, there are two ways. Let's say I'm CNN. It'd be fun to be CNN. Maybe not. Okay, cool. So for instance, if I'm editing an image, I can either paste in the URL to an image, or I can click upload and select a file right from my laptop or desktop computer. So if I'm pasting that in, I'm just going to right click the image, copy the image address, and I'll go back to Heyo and I will just paste that in. It's very, very easy. Okay, so that's how I update images on the campaign. What I would recommend for those of you who are just getting started with Heyo is on the right-hand side, you can see here, I've got a list of the different widgets. And as I mouse over them, the corresponding part of the campaign highlights, I would recommend going right down this list. So for instance, header image, we just updated. Contest end date. This is preset for you to 10 days, which I think is the perfect amount of time for running a sweepstakes. It's not too short, it's not too long, it keeps people really compelled. We are using a countdown timer to drive urgency, right? And so we want to make sure people really feel that urgency. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this at 10 days, but you can always click the date and time and adjust this if you want to. Okay. The next is the sign up form. Let's talk for a moment about this. I'm going to click that. I would highly recommend connecting your contest to your email marketing platform. We've got most of the major ones covered here: Aweber, Constant Contact, GetResponse, MailChimp, Campaign Monitor, MadMimi, Infusionsoft, etc. If you don't see your email marketing platform here, that's okay. Don't stress. All you need to do is click downloadable CSV file here at the bottom. We will store your leads and entries for you, and you can download them to your own platform at any time. So that is no problem whatsoever. A couple of quick points for you guys, especially the skippers who didn't really even want to see this demo to begin with. I would highly recommend limiting the number of fields of information you ask for. It is a law of the internet that every additional piece of information you ask for will lower your conversion rate. So if you get too happy here and you're like, oh yeah, I can ask for all this info. Let me ask for their first name, their last name, their email address, their bank account number, whatever, their favorite color. Please don't, because it's going to hurt your conversion rate. I think it's okay to ask for just email address, obviously. For maybe name and email address, I'll go ahead and type first name here. I can move these around, but I wouldn't get past 2 or 3 fields. It's just too much information, okay? Another quick tip here for you guys. This button right here, this enter button, should stand out. You want it to be nice and bright, and I highly recommend that it stays in the red-orange color spectrum. You'll notice we default to orange, right? And there's a reason for that. The orange-red color spectrum is the alert color spectrum to the human brain. It's the reason stop signs are red. And so you want to make sure you keep that call to action button right here. You want that to be the brightest thing on the page. That is my recommendation. All right, that was the sign up form. Next are share settings. Now, having these smart sharing features directly on the page, this is a big reason that you're running a social contest to begin with, right? So you really want to make sure you have these, you take advantage of them. So what I would recommend doing is in the first field, Facebook page to like, you want to paste in the URL to your Facebook page. If I go back to CNN, man, I should have gone to CNN. So political. I'm going to assume it's Facebook. /CNN. And look at that. It is. I will just copy the URL to my Facebook page and I will paste it right here in this Facebook page to like field. URL to share, I would leave blank because then Heyo will automatically default to sharing this contest page. And then share and tweet text, you definitely want to update. And with this share and tweet text, a best practice is to remember this is not what you as the business are saying. This is what your entrance would say. So you want it to say something like, I just entered blank, or I just found blank, right? I just found this great contest. Check it out. I just entered to win a free, fitness shopping spree. Click here to check it out. You want to think in, you want to adopt the persona of your fans, your entrants, and you want to make this sound like them. So something like, I just entered to win. Not the most creative copy in the world, but you guys get the idea. Okay, so those were my share settings. The contest image, it's pretty self-explanatory. You want to use your own contest image. The best practices here would be you want it to very clearly visually communicate the prize, make it really clear to the entrant what they have a chance to win. And again, you don't want this to distract too much from the orange or red or pink call to action button, right? So I like nice grays and blues and neutral colors here. People are going to see the image. The human brain processes images much faster than it processes text. It's going to be the first thing that they see. You've got a recommended image size here, 443 pixels wide by 581 pixels tall. So you're going to want to make sure that you use an appropriately sized image for that. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Finally, contest description. That's just simply the little text area here. You've got below the image. You've got a full text editor here. You can change the font sizes. You can change the font colors, type in your own text, add links. Heck, you can do whatever you'd like to do. So my recommendation would be to include, if you want to include a little marketing copy or some description of your prize, that's fine. Go for it. And certainly this is a good place to add rules as well. So like contest terms or rules you could put here at the bottom. If you've got a lot of rules, I'd recommend linking to another page of contest rules. Okay. Harry asked the question, I only have a color photo. Will that work? Absolutely, Harry. A nice color photo here is just fine. It's just fine. And that's it, folks. So I save my changes. I click Save and Preview. And this is the last stop before publishing. I have a chance to kind of review my contest page. And I can choose where to publish it. I can publish it to Facebook as a Facebook app. I can publish it to a standalone web landing page, or I can publish it to mobile. Here's what I'll tell you about mobile, a little bit of information for you. We did some research last year across our entire customer base here at Heyo. And what we found, in fact, I'll ask you guys in the GoToWebinar questions, what percentage of entrants on average do you think came from mobile? What percentage of people do you think are entering these kinds of contests from their mobile phone? Tell me in the GoToWebinar questions. Do you think 5 or 10%? Do you think 50%? How many do you think? What percentage of entrants, right, are entering these from their phone? Monica says 97%. Monica, I think you're just like giving me a hard time, but that's okay. We do certainly use our phones a lot. Okay, most people are saying, okay, we've got guesses between 30%. Robert guesses, he says 30%. It's a guess, totally. Of course, these are all guesses. And then, of course, Monica said 97%. Most people have said kind of 40 to 60-ish. And some of you may have heard me give this stat before. I don't know. But the answer is over 60% of all entrants, contest entrants, from, for Heyo customers are coming from mobile. And that is a pretty big number. So what does that mean? That means that if you're not publishing to mobile, if you're not a mobile-friendly contest, then you're missing out on more than half your leads. That's a really, really big deal. So let me click preview here next to publish to mobile. Watch what I do here. Everybody, make sure you're watching my screen. I want you all to see this and really get this. So again, over 60% of your entrants are going to come from mobile. So this is what it's going to look like when published to web or Facebook. Now watch this. I'm going to click this one button. Don't want you to miss it. My contest is already mobile responsive. So you want to make sure that you have published to mobile checked. It will be pre-checked for you, and it will look and operate great on mobile. So finally, once I publish the campaign, Heyo is going to give me what we call our smart URL. There it is, boom. And I can copy this, and I can paste this URL anywhere that I want to promote my campaign. It's very, very simple to do. Okay, so that was my demo. For those of you who said skip, I hope that that was worth your while and you at least learned one or two new things from that. Okay, welcome to Cheryl from Seabrook, Texas. Cheryl, good to have you with us. All right, so the next step is to promote your contest. Let's talk a little bit about promotion, and I imagine that many of you will have questions about this. Here's my general recommendation with promotion. First, promote across any organic channels you have. So if you have any pre-existing audience on social media, so Facebook followers, Facebook fans, Twitter followers, Instagram followers, if you have a website with traffic, Alan has a podcast. If you have a podcast, if you have a blog and you've got people subscribed to that blog, whatever it is, if you've got organic audience somewhere, you should absolutely be using it. So Alan, I hope when you're running a contest, you're messaging it, you're voicing it over to your podcast listeners. That would be very, very helpful. So first you want to promote it to everywhere that you have organic audience. I'd recommend starting with social media. You want to use link posts if possible. Okay, that is very, very simple to do. I'll show you exactly what that looks like, for instance, on Facebook. Watch my screen carefully. I'm going to show you how this works. Hopefully all of you know how to put together a link share post. But just in case, okay, I'm going to use this little test page I've got here. Okay, and just watch my screen. So I grab that smart URL. I'm simply going to paste it here. And you can see that Facebook scrapes in, automatically pulls in the details for my campaign and sets up what's called a link share post. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on post a link on Twitter. You can do this on LinkedIn, on Google+. You cannot paste a link on Instagram. You can't paste a link on Instagram. You can message the URL, tell them where to go, but you must absolutely promote and publish that link, that smart link, wherever you can. Okay, so a couple of questions about publishing that are coming through. Judy says, can you publish to Facebook and mobile? Absolutely, Judy, you can. Monica says, can you publish to mobile without publishing to Facebook? Yeah, absolutely, Monica. You can choose. You could only publish to mobile, or you could publish to mobile, Facebook, and web. That's what Heyo allows you to do. You pick the platforms where you want to publish. If you want to embed it on your own website, publish it to web, and you can simply iframe that or embed it into your website. It's very, very simple. Okay, cool. So back to promotion. You want to use a link share post. I would also highly recommend using the ideal image size on that post. You saw probably that when I pasted that smart URL in, the image didn't look that great. It didn't look that great. You can upload your own image, or I can show you how to do this. You can also update the metadata within Heyo. So let me show you what this looks like. Let me go back into Heyo. I'll go back into our campaign. So watch my screen carefully if you'd like to know how to customize your campaign metadata. How to customize your campaign metadata. So here within the editor, here's like where I was editing my campaign. But I'm going to go up here and I've got these three tabs: template, content, and options. I'm going to click options, and you can see it's already open, page share metadata. I can type in what my title is, what my description is, and what my image, my meta image is. And I'd highly recommend you do this. And if you do this, you want to use an image that is ideal for a link share post. 484 pixels wide by 252 pixels tall is ideal size for a link share post. or at least those same dimensions. Okay. I'd also recommend keeping the copy on the post concise because research indicates that the shorter your copy is, the better. And finally, don't fire and forget. This is social media. It's not a broadcasting platform, folks. So we often forget that, though, I know. So publish to whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Post make your post about your contest, link to it if you can, and then expect people to engage. Expect people to talk to you, to comment, to tag their friends, and have a little conversation with them. Tell them thanks for entering. Do what you can to engage. I think that's really, really helpful. Okay, a couple of other questions I see coming through. Tim says, have you had any successes paying for shout-outs on Instagram with mega communities? So Tim, what Tim is asking is, hey, if you know someone who's got a massive Instagram following, what if they give you a shout-out? Is that worth it? Is it worth paying for that? So Tim, here's what I'll tell you. I've never done that personally, so I can't speak to it on my own. But I can tell you, I know that there are certainly many big brands out there that will pay an actress or an actor or a model or some other personality or famous person to wear their outfit in an Instagram post. It's a big deal. Influencer marketing is a big deal. So, if you've got a good avenue for that, maybe it's worth trying out, but I can't give you definitive numbers on that. Robert says, do you recommend boosting the post? Yeah, we're going to get to that, Robert. Let me keep going. Another thought for you as you think about organic places where you can promote your campaign is that email marketing is your friend. Do not forget email. It is the old tried and true grandfather of marketing channels, or grandmother of marketing channels if you prefer. And even though you have the email address of those on your list, I recognize that. I know that that's the case. Even though you have their email address, remember, you want them to enter because they're more likely to share. They're already on your email list. And you don't have the email address of all their friends and followers. So you're going to pick up some new leads if you promote it to your email list. I promise you that. It's a really, really good thing to do. All right, let's talk about promotion a little bit, as Robert asked. He said, do you recommend boosting the post? Robert, what I would say is first, leverage all those organic channels that you have. That's what I think of as free marketing, right? Why not use them? And then consider smart paid advertising opportunities. And I would say boosting the post is the first thing you should consider. I would start at a minimum, if you've got a decent sized fan base, go ahead and pay to boost it to your fans. I know many of you think that is just sacrilege, that is just like a filthy thing to say. Boost to my fans, they're my fans. Facebook, man, Facebook is just killing me. My reach is dead. We're all dealing with the same issues with Facebook. But the reality is, you know who they are. Facebook knows who they are. You have an opportunity to reach them, and it's pretty cost effective. So I don't think it's a bad idea to boost to your fans. I would highly recommend doing that. And then, Robert, outside of that, you can boost to a custom audience like your email list, or you can target using the Facebook ad platform. And Facebook offers a wealth of targeting criteria you can choose from. Just make sure you're super well targeted if you decide to do that. You want to be super well targeted. All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, some other folks asked about Facebook ads. I mean, that's basically my 2 cents with Facebook ads. Boosting is definitely helpful. Running Facebook ads to a cold audience is something to consider, but it's got to be really well targeted. And here's what I mean when I say that. Let me just elaborate a little bit because a few of you are asking about Facebook ads. Facebook ads can be really exciting to a small business. If you get on the Facebook ads platform, you're like, holy cow, I can reach like 1 billion people, or I can reach a couple of 100 million people here in the US. This is a big deal. And so you get really excited. Like you can say, yeah, I'm going to target, I want to reach men, or I want to reach, I want this, post to be seen by women ages 20 to 40. And you still have 100 or 50 or 20 million or even 5 million people that you're promoting to. Here's the thing. That's way too many. That is way too many. The only thing you're going to get from massive audience is massive cost. You can quote me on that. The only thing you're going to get with a massive audience is massive cost. I would highly recommend being very targeted with Facebook. Get down to 20, 10, 5, or even 1,500 people seeing that ad. make sure they're the right 1,500 people. I keep coming back to Alan. Alan, I hope that's okay. But Alan with the Fitness Over 40 podcast. I don't know if I got the name of that right, Alan. I'm sorry if I ruined that. 40 Plus Fitness. I think it was called 40 Plus Fitness Podcast. He's targeting very specific group of people. He knows their age range. If he's looking for like personal fitness clients, he's got a geographic limitation. He knows that these people are likely, grandparents. So all this stuff can go into the Facebook ad platform. At the end of the day, Alan should be targeting a small population of people. So that's what I mean when I say it needs to be well targeted. I wanted to make sure that was clear. All right, if I'm not answering all of your questions, please don't despair, because we'll come back. We've got Q&A here at the end. All right, now, if you do this right, folks, it is definitely really magical for your business. It certainly can be. Here are a few more case studies for you guys to have a look at. Here is Stein Home Improvement. So hopefully you're looking at my screen. I'm going to share a couple more case studies. These have all been really successful. This is Stein Home Improvement. They are a small hardware store chain. There are a handful of them around Louisiana. They ran a campaign. They had a pre-existing audience, people who come into their stores. So they have a little circular that they pass around their stores, and they put a link to the contest page and an ad in the circular, and they got almost 19,000 impressions and 6,500 new emails. It's pretty darn great. Lake Lovers in the UK ran a really fun Christmas themed campaign, got 8,500 impressions and almost 4,800 emails captured for 56% conversion rate. They hit on something, by the way, when you're picking a prize, they hit on something that I would also recommend, which is to tie your prize in with something timely or something current. So it might be a major holiday. Here in the States, there's Memorial Day coming up. There's Independence Day, the 4th of July. Christmas is a big holiday, many places around the world, etc. So it could be a major holiday. It could be a big event. So maybe it's something about Premiership football in the UK. Maybe it's the Super Bowl here in the States. But could be an event, could be a holiday, but tie it to something current, because people, if it's a holiday, it's already on their mind, and holiday themed campaigns or current event themed campaigns, it tends to lift performance a little bit. So there you go. There's something else. Okay. I Love Camping. This is one of my favorites, because I Love Camping is simply this little camping themed fan website. And they did amazingly well and got almost a 60% conversion rate and captured 2,400 emails. So it was a very successful campaign. And then this is really cool. We talked about exclusive prizes, right? And how exclusive prizes can be really good for the campaign. So here is Gorin Brothers. They're a small company that makes custom-made hats and sells these really nice hats that they design. They ran this campaign, and it was one of the more successful conversion rates I've ever seen. 10,600 plus impressions, 8,400 plus emails. They converted at 78%. Now take a look at my screen and see what their prize is in that red circle. It might be a little hard to read, but can you guys see that? Yeah, they gave away not just a free hat, but the winner had a hat named after them. So forever after, in their hat catalog, if the winner's name was, Dave Miller, then that hat was called the Dave Miller. It's a pretty cool prize, right? I really liked that. I thought it was really clever. Okay, I hope that was helpful to see some nice case studies as well. So tell me right now, we're about to get to Q&A, but first, have you learned at least 2 new things from today's webinar? That is, we always ask that question. That's always my goal. Yes or no, have you learned at least 2 new things from today's webinar? If so, type yes. If not, type no. Harry says a bunch. Good. Robert says yes. Richard, yes. Tim, yes. Very good. Cheryl, yes. Judy, yes. Alan, yes. Charles says, I learned we were doing better than I thought. I really want to hear more about that, actually, Charles. Maybe I'll unmute you here in a second. What do you mean you're doing better than you thought? Linda says yes. Hannah says yes. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So with that, we're going to go to Q&A. And actually, before I start Q&A, I want to remind those of you who are on a free trial, take a look at my screen. This is what the Heyo dashboard looks like. If you're on a free trial right now and you haven't upgraded to a paid plan yet, I'd highly recommend you do so. Of course, I'm biased, but Heyo's a great platform, and you can see a lot of businesses have had success with it. All you do, if you want to do that, you click on this pricing link right here, and you can upgrade to a paid plan. It's very, very simple. So with that, let's go ahead and get to Q&A. And if for those of you who have questions, if you haven't had your questions answered yet, go ahead and type them in again, if you don't mind, to the GoToWebinar questions so that I can get to everyone's. And while we do that, I'm going to see if I can chat with Charles. Charles, fair warning, I'm going to try and unmute you here. I want to hear what he says about the fact that he's doing maybe better than he thought. So Charles, I've unmuted you. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Charles, where are you joining from, man?
I'm from Michigan, Bloomfield Hills area.
Okay, and what type of business are you in?
So I do advertising and marketing for several small retailers. So I've come on board because of you guys, actually. I've done a lot of AO, so.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm thrilled to hear that. And so you're a consultant, basically, or like a small agency?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, you said you learned you're doing better than you thought. I'm glad to hear that. If I can at least give people some comfort that they're doing a pretty good job. But can you elaborate a little bit? I'm very curious. Like, is it conversion rate that you're feeling good about? Something else?
The overall collection rates and viewership on our contests, our conversion rates aren't as great as I would like, and I think I've picked up a couple things on what we're doing. We're asking for too much information, for one. On the page.
That could be hurting you for sure.
But we're doing about 9,000 to 12,000 emails per campaign, and our campaigns are running over a 60-day period. So
okay, wow.
I'm pretty happy with those numbers.
That's fantastic. And you said you're working with small retailers, is that right?
So I'm actually working right now. The main user of Heyo is a news publication. So they print reviews and whatnot in the firearms industry.
Okay.
And we've been doing giveaways of backpacks and holsters and things like that, which we've actually turned into a money-making campaign for us, in that we charge companies to be listed in our giveaways. Because we have been getting such a good reach off of them. Okay, amazing.
So can we just take a moment and let's talk about that for a second, because I think this is good learning for everyone. I have had many clients that, and I highly recommend doing this, that will go out and source free product to give away, which I think is really smart, right? Like for instance, I remember we had a nonprofit that was targeting people who like to golf, and so they talked the company Titleist into donating like some really nice golf bags and some other stuff to give away as prizes. And I was like, man, that's genius, right? Like you get some great product. It's a nice prize. It's relevant. But you're taking it actually a step further. You're saying you're actually charging companies to get their product into your giveaway, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Where the main featured product is at a higher price, and then the secondary products that get given away in it to make it a bundle are usually done at about half that rate, plus they supply the product.
I love it. Very, very smart. Well, it sounds like you're really doing a great job, and appreciate you taking the time to join me today, Charles. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, always willing to learn more.
All right, awesome. All right, so I've got a few questions here I want to handle live as they come in. Okay, so Tim asked the question, Chris, can you recommend any dedicated Facebook ad agencies, not general marketing agencies or Google, but pure Facebook ads? Tim, I know a couple of folks, but why don't you email me? I think you have my email address. If not, you can email support@heyo.com and just ask that same question. Say, hey, Chris sent me. I want to know if he knows some people who know Facebook ads, and I'd be glad to put you in touch with some folks. Okay, let's see what other questions we've got. Okay, Linda says, what methods are popular for choosing winners? I'm so glad you asked that question, Linda. Okay, so let me show you a couple things real quick right here. So let me go back to the Heyo dashboard. So watch my screen, Linda. You can see exactly how to pick a winner. It's super, super easy. Okay, so here I am in the Heyo dashboard. When my sweepstakes is over, I simply go over here. There's the edit button. I'm going to click this drop-down arrow, and I click pick a winner, and boom, it's going to pick a winner for me. Now, this was my little test campaign. It didn't have any entries. But if it had, it would randomly select a winner, and give me the opportunity to either copy that email address or send them an email right from within the Heyo dashboard. If you'd like to be, how do I put this the right way, a little bit more hands-on with selecting your winner, Linda, then simply click Download CSV, click this button, put in your email address, and Heyo will send you the leads file as a CSV. It's like an Excel file, and you'll see all the entrants there, and you can pick at random. You're on your own, or you can, however you're picking a winner, you can pick them that way as well, like kind of more manually. So you can certainly do that as well, but we also have that pick a winner feature that's really helpful. Okay, cool. Okay, a great question from Tanya, who asks, could a giveaway work with a services company business startup marketing package? Yeah, absolutely. It all comes back to knowing your target customer, Tanya, and thinking about what type of incentive would be most relevant to them. So if you were doing a giveaway and they were like a startup marketing company, rather than, I would not give away a free marketing consultation, right? We've already gotten that out there. I would recommend doing something like giving away $100 in free Facebook ads, or maybe a subscription to a nice marketing service online. So think of how about a bundle of the top 5 startup books, like The Lean Startup and How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know, the top 5 business books or startup books. And maybe you can get some of them autographed. But if not, even just a little bundle of books to help their startup. There's some of my ideas. And that's just like totally here, spur of the moment. Another question, how would you drive traffic from a newspaper ad? That's easy. I would set up a vanity URL. So if you're acme.com, you could set up acme.com/contest, and you could either embed your Heyo contest into that page or simply redirect to your Heyo smart URL. Or you could just go out and secure a new domain, and you could, go grab acmecontest.com or something like that, and just use that every time you run an ad in the newspaper. That's exactly what Stein Home Improvement did when they ran they promoted their contest in their company circular. Okay, let's see what other questions we've got. Okay, Judy asks a great question. She says, am I correct in that the big benefit of Heyo is the collection of email addresses? So I would say yes to the question, is the number one benefit from running a social contest collecting more email addresses? Yes. If so, she asks, what are the other benefits? Well, I've already said up front that a really strong secondary benefit is more social media engagement, right? If I go back to my contest page, remember I have those sharing options built into the page, and they work. So, you're going to get a lot more tweets and likes and shares from running this contest as well. So that's what I'd call a secondary benefit. If instead of collecting email addresses, you have a goal of just building more awareness for your business and getting more people thinking about your products, I think a photo contest is a really nice way to do that. And the reason is you could have only 10 people enter a photo contest, but if they enter and they've taken the time to snap a picture and upload it, they probably really want to win. And so they're going to share it a lot. And so what you're going to see is a lot of people sharing and a lot more people coming to vote. So photo contests in general have many more impressions, many more people seeing the contests, but don't get as many email leads. So that's another thing to think about. Cheryl asked the question. She says, we do free events newsletter to recipients and have paying sponsors. Do you think giving away an ad would be a viable contest prize? If you're trying to attract potential sponsors, Cheryl, I think maybe, yeah. If you're targeting businesses who would potentially buy ad space from you, I think that could be a good prize. Hard for me to say for sure. Okay, so Judy asks a great question. Do the captured emails go to a separate list in your email marketing program? Mine is Constant Contact. Okay, so let me just share this with you. Everybody that wants to see the answer to this question, just watch my screen real quick. I'm just going to walk through exactly how this works. Okay. So basically, here's what this looks like. I am on the contest page, right? I'm editing. I click on that. Back on lead destination, I'm going to select my email marketing program. So if I select MailChimp, I will get a little what's called OAuth pop-up, but I'll get this little pop-up that says, okay, connect Heyo to your account. You can see this is a MailChimp URL. And if I type in my details here, then the next step is it'll sync. Look at this, importing MailChimp list data. And then it'll say, add email leads to which list. And I can now pick, and if I've got 20 lists in my MailChimp account, I'll see all 20. But I pick the list I want my leads to go to. And that is how that works, Judy. So you control that, right? You control which list your leads get placed in. All right, cool. Monica, the pick a winner feature, she asks, does the pick a winner option generate a post or email to the winner? Monica, the pick a winner option, first of all, will simply pick a winner at random. And then if you'd like it to, it will set up an email for you to send to the winner. It does not post to Facebook for you. It does not post to Facebook for you. Okay, Alan asks a good question. He says, you recommended a 484 by 252 size image for the social media metadata image. What other image sizes would you recommend we use? So if I go, let me just go back to Facebook. Let's see if we can find some link share posts. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Okay, see on my screen, this image right here, Alan. This is about 484 pixels wide and 252 pixels tall. Anything that keeps those dimensions, so for instance, if I double those dimensions or triple them, anything that keeps those dimensions usually is good for the social share image. So that's what I'd recommend. And this image size tends to work well on other platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter as well. As far as the actual contest images, every time you click on an image widget, it's going to give you recommended image size right here on the right-hand side. So keep that in mind. And hopefully that answers your question. You guys have lots of good questions today. I love it. Yeah, Charles asked another good question. Have you found any stats on contest length that affects conversions? For this kind of contest, Charles, which I'd call a basic sweepstakes or a giveaway, what I would say is that we found that 1 to 2 weeks is just the best amount of time. The two things you're solving for, I don't have any hard numbers. I don't have like a range of things to quote you. For instance, I can't tell you, well, if it's under 7 days, it's going to convert at 10%. If it's over 7 days, but not over 14 days, it's going to convert at 30%. I don't have those kinds of hard numbers for you, Charles. But what I can tell you is this. You're solving for a couple of things. One is creating urgency. And the shorter the time is, the more urgency you create. The other is you're solving for your marketing and promotion to actually get out there and be effective. So if you're only solving for urgency, then set it for like 24 hours, right? Or 2 hours. If you're only solving for, giving your marketing time to work, set it for 30 days, for 6 weeks, for 2 months. But you're solving for both. So we find that 1 to 2 week time frame, I usually say 10 days, is just the right amount of time. So for a sweepstakes, that tends to work. For something like a photo contest or even more so a video contest where you're asking people to actually like make a creative submission to enter, you got to give them even more time than that. So like a photo contest, I would say 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how complicated the photo request is. And then a video contest could be months long, could last all summer. So you want to make sure that you're only that you're using the right amount of time depending on the contest. I hope that's helpful color for you, Charles. Ooh, a great question from Tim. Tim says, how many follow-up emails in an email sequence would you use offering discounts on your products? And what intervals would you set these apart? Um, Tim, I mean, I don't have a hard and fast answer for you because every business is different, right? But here's what I can say. And for those of you who aren't sure what we're talking about, let me explain. So after your contest is over, right? Let me go back up here. After your contest is over, you have the opportunity to really engage people with email. That's the whole point, right? You've been collecting email addresses. Now you want to use them. I went back to this slide. If you look at you're going to want to look at my screen. So please take a moment and look at my screen. The reason I went back to this slide is because these examples are from a real life Heyo customer called Solo Stove. Okay, they sell camp stoves, these really cool backpacking camp stoves and equipment online, and they're my guru when it comes to follow-up email marketing on a contest. They do an amazing job. Solo Stove, for instance, had an autoresponder set up. So every time someone entered their contest, they automatically got an email that said, hey, thanks for entering. Here's, we've got your entry. We're going to be picking a winner on this date. Stay tuned, etc. And then at the end of the giveaway, they sent this email out that's on the left side of my slide. Take a look at that. It says, hi, friend, our recent giveaway has come to an end. Unfortunately, you didn't win. We plan on having more, so watch more giveaways and contests throughout the year, so please watch your email. As a token of our appreciation for your entry, we'd like to invite you to enjoy 10% off your next purchase. Here's a coupon code SWEEPS10. And then there's a little call to action button. So really smart, right? Like right away, a nice campaign wrap-up email with a coupon code and a call to action. So this is what Tim is talking about, right? At least I assume, Tim, that's what you're talking about. So here's what I would say. I like drip campaigns or engagement campaigns on email that provide a lot of high-value content. Coupon codes are great. They're interested. If you were giving away your product as the prize, they're interested in your product, right? So that's great. So for sure you can do that. Tim, I mean, pretty common would be like 1 to 2 emails a week. More than that would be pretty frequent because now we're talking like one every other day. But I hope that's helpful. And you could I don't think there's any end to the number of follow-up emails you could do. So for instance, if you sent 1 email a week with some either coupon code or an interesting article or a fun video about your products or whatever, maybe some industry news, then there's no end. I mean, you always want to engage your email list, right? So I don't think there's a limit to how many of those you can send out. Okay, Judy says, when I'm ready to do my campaign, if I get started and realize I need help, can I call someone? Judy, we are here for you. The best thing you can do is email support@heyo.com, support@heyo.com. Our customer care team is great with technical support, and they also offer great strategic advice when it comes to running these types of social contests. So what I would tell you is absolutely you can reach out to them at any time. And whatever help you need, they're there for you. We also run these types of webinars regularly to our paying customers, so you guys are always welcome to join them. Okay, Judy also says, if we run a photo contest, does Heyo pick the photo winner randomly? No, actually, it's most votes. Generally, the photo contest, people enter, their photo is added to a gallery, and they have a chance to go out and solicit votes from their family and friends. And that's what gets you a lot of really good impressions on the campaign and good awareness being built, good exposure. And then the photo with the most votes wins. Judy says, do you get to keep and use all the photos submitted? Judy, if you want to, yes. You simply add that to your contest terms. You could even add a little checkbox in Heyo that says, by entering, I agree that such and Acme Industries has the right to use my photo entry in their advertising. Why not do that? So that's very easy to do. Okay, I think I hit everyone's questions. It's just after 3 o'clock. So we're just at the top of the hour. If you've got any burning questions, go ahead and pop them into the GoToWebinar questions panel right now. But otherwise, I want to remind you guys one more time. Go ahead and you can watch my screen. I'll remind you one last time. If you're on a Heyo free trial and you're interested in upgrading, which I think you should be, it's very easy to do. You just click on the pricing link from the right-hand side of the dashboard, and this is how you upgrade your plan. Click the Buy Now button, you enter your credit card details, and you can get set up. You can choose monthly or annual plans. It's totally up to you. So that is very, very easy to do. So, folks, thanks so much for joining. You guys have honestly been a really great audience. You asked really smart, savvy questions. And there are lots of great learnings we can have when we get together like this on a webinar. I learned a lot from you. We had that really cool learning from Charles earlier. So thanks again for joining. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. It's only Tuesday. We got a long way to go. Keep grinding it out and working hard on your business. And if you guys have any questions after this webinar, if you think of something later, shoot us an email to support@heyo.com, and we would be glad to handle those for you. Thanks so much again for joining, guys, and we will talk to you next time. So long.